Hello guys, how you doing? It's me, JaackMaate. Welcome back to the JaackMaate Podcast on iTunes, on YouTube, on wherever you're bloody watching or listening. I'm here with this guy.
Hiya.
You right?
Yeah, man.
You make this so awkward every time.
I respond.
Right, this is how a normal conversation would work. How you doing? I'm here with this guy, Tom, and then you go, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Quite a hard time recently, and it's...
I don't want to hear about it. Don't bring the mood down, because we're here with comedian and impressionist Foran. How you doing? Is it
How are you, lads?
I'm good.
Do you know what? It's Foran.
Foran. Foran.
Everybody, I think that was Gareth A. Davies when I went up on the stage with Mayweather. He called me Foran.
Did it piss you off?
No, it pissed my family members off. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. You know?
You're the nicest guy in the world. Like, we've not even been a minute in, and I can tell you've got one of those nice Irish accents, because you know you can get quite a harsh. Is that Northern Irish? Harsh.
Yeah, there's kind of there's a northern. There's a few different Irish accents. There's kind of an accent on the west, down south in Cork, that's where my grandparents are from.
Right.
And then there's Dublin. Dublin, I think, is fairly neutral.
It sounds quite nice. Like, I could fall asleep with you reading me an audiobook.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. If the impressions go sync, gone, I'll be perfect. Audiobooks, fantastic. David Attenborough, eat your heart out.
So we are sponsored here by a tech service called AQA. They can tell the future about somebody. They can tell you facts about somebody that maybe only they would know. Very interesting. You can text your name and a word. Go for future, go for love, go for what you want. To 63336, and always ask the bill payer's permission. Tom, what do you say if somebody wants to use your phone?
Of course. Please.
Go ahead. So we texted them today about our lovely guest here, Foran. And they've come back and they've said this. Freddie Flintoff is the one who hates Impressionist Al the most. Does that mean anything to you?
I don't know. I mean, obviously I pranked him.
Right. What was that about?
For the William Hill campaign. Oh, it was just he thought he was interviewing McGregor.
Oh, okay, the Robbie Savage thing.
It was I think it was 2 or 3 weeks out from the fight in August, and Savage was going along with it. I think he did enjoy it. Like, he was sound to me, but then he got me a knobhead after. And then when he posted it up, like, I messaged him on Twitter. He goes, "Knobhead." that was his caption, "Knobhead," while quoting the William Hill tweet. And I wrote underneath, "I'm not that bad, Freddie," and he never got back to me.
He still hasn't recovered from the they've explained it. The heart-stopping fear he felt when Conor McGregor called him fat. Luckily for Al, it's hard for anyone to stay mad at someone so talented. AQA, love a little bumlet.
Yeah, a little kiss.
We know he's great, but we'll be able to tell him that, not you. If you want to get involved, as I say, text 63336 with your name and any word. Thanks for sponsoring the series, AQA. We could really do with you sponsoring another series if you're watching, because this is the last episode you paid for, and this doesn't pay for itself. It does, it's free. So Al, something I always ask of my guests is to introduce themselves if you can. Like, if you had to, say this was like a dating thing, how would you sell yourself to anyone out there who doesn't know who you are or what you do? It might be quite hard for you.
I'm a comedian, an impressionist comedian.
Right.
I perform live gigs. I'm bringing out a theatre show at the end of November.
Oh wow!
So I combine that. It's live gigs, sketch videos on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. That's my job for a living. That is. I'm an impressionist comedian. I'm an actor as well. I like to think I'm an actor. I think that would be an kind of the logical evolutionary step for me. In the next 2-3 years.
Okay.
What we're still doing the impressions too, you know.
How long have you been doing it for?
I've been doing it 7 years. 7 years now. It kicked off in 2015. That was when it really started. But yeah, 7 years. I'm 25. I did my first gig when I was 18 in 2010. I don't know what is the GCSEs. That's the main. They're the main exams over here.
Yeah, the ones that everyone does.
It's the leaving cert is the big exams over in Ireland for when you're leaving school. So it hit off for me during that time. Only locally, only in my local town, Portmarnock in North County Dublin. Everyone kind of rallied behind me, and I put the videos up on YouTube. They got about 100 views. Do you know what I mean? But I was happy enough with the.
Did that mean a lot because they were people from your?
Yeah, it did. It meant a lot, and I did the first gig, maybe 2 months before those exams.
Right.
You know, so I had to be studying. I wasn't.
Yeah.
So I gigged in front of 150 people, 18 years old. I was meant to be up there for about 40 minutes. I was an hour and 20 minutes up there.
What?
Yeah.
For your first gig,
Yeah.
40 minutes is even still mental.
30 minutes was all of the script for the whole gig was that took up 30 minutes, and the rest it was all improv.
Right.
Yeah.
And you went for what, an hour and 20?
An hour and 20.
Well, the fact that you can, I know you say you're an impersonator,
Yeah.
comedian. You're not saying you're just a comedian. But if you can improv for that long, surely
Yeah.
you've got it within you just to do.
Stand up away from the impression
Yeah.
if it ever came to that.
I'd always think of that. I mean, I'd like to try it. I'd like to give it a go. I'm very. The problem is I am afraid of doing something like that on my pages. I think people will probably think, "Oh, what are you doing?" You know, once you're.
It's tricky because because you're friends with like Key and Toomey, and I know he said before when he's tried other things away from the Emily thing, he doesn't get as much traction. Yeah. And he said before, and he's like, why would you? If it's people like it, why would you change it?
But then it's kind of like going back to in Extras, Andy Mulman and that. Like when he gets his own sitcom based on that. Oh, and it's such a little muggy character that doesn't hold any real value or anything. Do you want to keep? And clearly, I'm not saying that you have your trade. You're fucking amazing at it. But then to then move on. Like why should you be worried that you want to progress into something else? You know what I mean? Like my thing, and it isn't as cool as yours or Kean. Well, it's probably as cool as Kean's, and I love Kean a bit, so he won't mind me saying that. But I just moan about things. Do you know what I mean? So for when I do a video talking about something seriously, and people go, "Oh, go back to just moaning about it." What the fuck? Is my life that now?
but I mean, you tried something else for a while, being more, rather than moaning, it was more kind of stand-up-y things. And you're like, you said yourself, you weren't getting the views for it.
Exactly.
And then you reverted back.
Exactly.
So
I'm just asking the question. I can't do it myself.
I
got like one of the weird things that I've sort of stumbled on Facebook is I did a video about immigration. Yeah. And as much as I felt strongly for that point, it essentially, like, there was no real politics behind the video. It's just me going, "Don't be fucking racist," basically.
I seen that video. Yeah.
And from that day on, I gained a massive, like, a large sum of my, a large lump of my Facebook audience came from that video. And now, when I do a video where I'm like reacting to Justin Bieber's new song, I get hundreds of comments from these Muslim people who are like, "Why are you not talking about the more important things in life?" It's like, all right, you got a point, but that's not me. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
So it must be.
It's weird, isn't it? There is a specific target audience for everyone. When I do my Donald Trump impression, when I just title or caption a video with Donald Trump on it, it never does well. It never does well on Facebook or Twitter, which is probably because he has become kind of a parody of himself. You've Alec Baldwin impersonating him on Saturday Night Live, and you have many other impersonators. He's covered on all of the late night talk shows in America. He's covered on Buzzcocks, just everything, you know. So how, like, it's.
So do you think people don't click on it because, as funny as your impression may be, or what you've written may be, he's almost funnier in his own right?
Yeah, it's like people putting their eyes up to heaven. You may just go onto his Twitter and see all of the Donald Trump support fan pages that he retweets. Yeah, like, this is a presidential figure doing that. You know, that's a parody within itself.
I just read an article just before you came in the room that said Donald Trump praises the healthcare in Nambia, which is a non-existent country. So it's like you couldn't have written anything funnier than that. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't have written anything funnier than that. So
you could.
So,
you can't. That's just.
So that's mad. Going back to how you started and stuff.
Yeah.
You say you started when you was at school.
Well, ish.
A lot of you seem to have started a lot later than some of the we friends with Schaefer as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of impressionists have kind of told us that they start at school and they do impressions of their teachers and stuff like that in order to fit in.
That's exactly it.
Is that the same with you?
That's
or not?
Exactly it. Impressions of the teachers, impressions of family members. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it started. When I was 10 years old, my parents got married when I was 10. I got up on the main table and I started impersonating my aunties and my uncles and my cousins. You know, so it just started from there on. You know, it's kind of with you. Life,
so do you not think it's something that say me and Tom went away for a year, really tried to learn these?
Yeah, it is. People think it's a talent. I don't think it's.
Really?
I do and I don't, because years ago I wasn't pretty good. Do you know what I mean? And then I improved and improved and improved because I just put work into it.
Yeah.
That's what I did. It's all about putting.
But you honing your art. That's like everything. Like a footballer wouldn't be able. They obviously train, but they still got that. They have that within them. Yeah, I think you have that within you.
Yeah.
You've just polished it.
So you polish it a little. Well,
we might be able to do one impression, which we might get onto that later. I was trying to do one, but like.
Yeah. Can I just say, I already know who your one impression is. And it's so niche and shit.
We'll see what Al thinks of it.
Yeah, okay.
But I think you've got it within you, and you've got that, because you're even picking up the kind of personality traits and the movements. You're very spot on with that side of things as well. So it's like being aware of all that. I think you can't learn it. You might be able to learn a couple impressions, but I think you're selling yourself short a bit, Al, I think.
I know. It's the Irish in me, I suppose. But no, look, I'm blessed to have the talent, you know, but if like you can't. A few years ago, I expected to be here and there without working, because I thought to myself, oh, I have this ability, I should be on whatever RTE. That's our national broadcaster over in Ireland, and that was not the case. I had to work. I have to work my ass off to get to where I am now. I had no way into TV or radio because it was fading away a little. It was kind of, I think around 2012, 2013, there was the social media world was kind of coming into it was coming into a bit. I'm lost for words. It was coming into a real big phase. Do you know what I mean? And the next level. And TV and radio was still there, but it was fading a little. Like, there's two Impressionists in Ireland, Mario Rosenstock and Oliver Callan. They were the two main guys for years, and with them on the radio and TV, there was no way, like, you know, they were going to take a gamble on a 20-year-old kid. So I looked at social media. I created the Facebook page. An Irish fella called Conor McGregor came along in 2015. It was early 2015. I just put out a little video of me doing that impression, and from there on it boomed. It boomed, yeah.
Do you think you owe some of your success to that?
Yes.
You do?
To Conor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it to him.
Really?
Yeah. He appreciated it. Like, he thought, the first time I met him, I kind of blindsided him and got him on a video and doing the impression to him, and I don't know if he appreciated it or not. He was laughing in the video. The second time, his guard was up around me. Now, he wasn't about to punch me in the face, but his guard was up, and I was completely I wasn't going to do it again. I just had a chat with him, and he was like, "Yeah, you sound nothing like me." I was like, "I'm watching those videos, and I mean, what is that?" You know, so I was like, well, mate, what about the other impressions, you know? He goes, yeah, some of them are very good. I do enjoy the Mike Tyson. And I basically said, look, mate, I said, I've been doing this years. I said, when you came along and then I started impersonating you, that's when it all went really, you know, bright for me. And he started to warm down, and he was like, thank you. Thanks a million, mate. And he asked me, are you making bread? I said, not as much as you. He goes, yeah, of course you're not making as much bread as me. Who is making my bread at the minute? Absolutely nobody, so. That was the conversation we had, and he was, but well done to you, brother. I'm very happy for you. Very happy for you. Just tell them all, and I do it to this day. I go, tell them in the interviews, it was me. It was me who made you.
And he's doing it now, so there we go.
I didn't know McGregor was a baker. There you go. When you're doing someone like Conor, is there certain words that you, like, when doing accents, some words are really hard to say. Do you have to avoid certain, or are you so...
No, I think
can say any word.
I think I have Connor nailed.
So if we gave you a list of tricky words, do you think you could use it in a sentence?
Oh, that would be an interesting one. Yeah, try that. Let's try that.
Okay, I only use the word ambulance, foreigner. Not because
as Connor.
Yeah, as Connor. Don't put them together, like, but yours your word.
Ambulance, foreigner, Mississippi, and kumquat.
There you go.
What is it?
Kumquat. Do you not know what this is?
Kumquat.
It's a vegetable. Yeah.
So all of those words in one sentence.
Well, you can do a few sentences, but just those words are the interesting ones.
Okay. So I was in Mississippi the other day. This foreigner came up to me. I mean, he started talking a lot of shit to me. So I put him in an ambulance. And when he was in the ambulance, he was moaning. He was saying to me, "Oh man, I made friends with him after that. He realised the mistake he made trying to start a fight with me. So he said, 'Here, Connor, have you got any kumquats on you?' I need some of those kumquat. I need some of that."
Fuck me. Yeah, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah. Mississippi is a beautiful state. I appreciate it very much.
Mississippi. You even do the shoulder thing.
Yeah.
How much of it is the voice, and how much of it is the face and the body?
I'd say about 65% voice, and then 35%
I
mannerism.
thought it'd be more voice, if any, like 90-10 or something like that.
But even though if it's the face of De Niro, you straight away like this. You know it's De Niro straight away. Like, and then I think when you.
Is that a segue? Is it?
No. I'm just saying, like, I think the physical side of what you do is that's part and parcel of it. I think
he was the original De Niro.
Was he? That was actually a question I was going to get to.
He was the original.
Who was the first one that you done?
Yeah.
Well, just quickly going back to like your school life.
Yeah.
What kind of school kid was you? Was you the cool one because you could do this?
No.
Was you the nerdy one because you could do this? How was you perceived at school?
I don't know. School for me was fine. I mean, we had our own kind of group of mates. There was about maybe 6 or 7 of us, and we kind of kept to ourselves. But I knew all the other lads as well. But we were a tight knit group of mates. And those lads, I love them to bits. I barely see them anymore, which is a real shame. But like they got sick of me doing the impressions.
Really?
You know, they're like, and I like that. I do like that. I kind of like being around that, just acting normal. You know.
Yeah. Because you must, in your life, you must have so many people meet you. Do this guy. To have some mates who are like, don't do anymore. That's quite humbling. I imagine.
I was a bit of a class clown. I'll admit, I was a class clown that got away with it.
Right. Because even your teachers probably liked them.
Yeah, I like to think I had a bit of a charm. I remember doing Robert De Niro at the age of 10 for like a variety thing we did in our class. It was like a variety competition.
Yeah.
And I started doing the De Niro and Joe Pesci, and there's my teacher sitting across the way. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with this child watching Goodfellas at such an early age? You know. But like even since then, I'd always been kind of the
class clown.
The class clown. But no, I was a very good student as well.
Was you?
I did. I won a few Student of the Year awards. Okay. I was very linguistic. I won Student of the Year in German, in secondary school. I was actually exempt from Irish. I have a pacemaker. The primary school that I was in thought that my pacemaker mentally affected me.
What?
So this is how Irish schools kind of think.
Right.
You know.
Wow.
It was a bit mad. The whole Catholic Church thing. It's all a bit mental over in Ireland.
I know another Irish comedian with a pacemaker.
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah.
We did a video together.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah. That's mad, isn't it?
Sean's a lovely chap.
He is a lovely guy.
It's crazy because he does impressions too.
Yeah.
Which is just mental.
Parallel lives. Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And he only lives 10 minutes up the road from me.
Really?
Yeah. I'm in Portmarnock. He's in Swords. So they're 10 minutes away from each other.
Now he lives down here, doesn't he?
He lives in London now.
That is insane.
But they thought that they exempted me from Irish, which is obviously the subject to Irish, the language, throughout all of primary school. And then my mum said to me, why didn't you do Irish in secondary school? And I'm there looking at my mum, I go, what? No, I've never even I've never done the subject at all. Went back in first year in secondary school. I took up Irish. Second year I got student of the year. So it was a real middle finger to the primary school I was in. But I thought everything was rosy in that primary school. My mum never told me that. They thought my pacemaker was something that affected me on a learning basis. Like,
that's insane, isn't it? That's insane.
That is crazy.
Does it affect you day to day or not at all?
Pacemaker? No, not really. It does its job. I mean, I get a battery change every 10 years in my pacemaker, so I have about 2-3 years left. They track it every year, so it's very safe, you know.
Wow,
it's very safe.
Because
I was born with congenital heart block.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, does that just mean like the arteries to your heart are just blocked up, or what is
it? It meant the blood flow coming in and out is very slow. Like, and they caught it maybe 2 weeks before I was born.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And if they didn't, it could have been bad news.
I don't know. I'm not too sure. My mother never likes to talk about it.
Yeah, I bet. Must be quite hard. So, it feels weird to just go straight back to the impression. Do De Niro. All right, enough about your heart. Do Joe. But how do you honestly feel when people come up to you in the street and they ask you just to do impressions? So
I don't mind it. I get annoyed though when it's at a function, at a party, where I'm trying to get something. That's never happened before. But it does get a little annoying. I don't think with people like I'm not looking for sympathy in saying this, but myself and Schaefer, like someone who's known, a picture is a fairly easy thing for them to just pose for. But when someone comes up to you with their phone out on an Instagram story or a Snapchat story and requiring you to do an impression for however 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and they keep doing that gets very annoying. Yeah. That gets very, very annoying.
It's very invasive, isn't it? Invasive.
Well, when they come up to you without asking.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's just, it's like just going up to... seeing your doctor in the street.
If they come up to you...
What's that? Is that...
If they come up to you and they ask you, that's fine. That's completely fine. Because that's manners.
Yeah.
But if you come up to someone recording, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You may as well be a paparazzi with TMZ.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That is mad. Have you I ask this question quite a lot to my guests. Have you ever had like a weird fan moment? Has anyone really overstepped the line where it's like that one stuck in my brain as like a bit of a mental one? I
don't know. No, I don't think so.
No,
not yet. I've had a few. I've had a few people who've freaked out meeting me when I'm looking. I'm like, here, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm only a lad that does a few impressions on the internet. That's all I am. You know.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had that moment yet.
It'll come.
I dread it. Yeah.
It'll come. Have you ever had a moment where you've done an impression too?
Yeah.
Maybe live. If you've done a few live for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever done an impression? And sometimes there's as you said, there's a few impressions I think I can maybe do.
Yeah.
But then I have to get the start of the sentence right. Otherwise, it's just all downhill from there. So have you ever been in a place where you can't just redo the take and you've tried to go for an impression and you've just fucked it? Like, have you never done that? Can you
professional?
Professional.
Never go up. My whole motto is never break the character.
Right.
Never break it. Stay in character.
That's what if you feel yourself not really getting it like you usually fucking get it.
Just keep going.
Really.
I think there's a lot more.
Keep going.
A lot more to be said for you going up there and doing an impression, because if a comedian goes up there and just as a joke and it's not funny, but you doing an impression takes so much more bottle. Like for that whole thing with Mayweather, that was like serious.
What, to do it to his face?
Yeah, to his face.
It was terrifying.
Was that? Did you know you were going to do that?
I didn't know I was going to do that. I thought I was just performing at the event.
Yeah, oh, terrifying.
And then when his few people from his entourage had told him there was a Conor McGregor impersonator here, he goes, I want that guy up on stage with me for the Q&A. He didn't know who I was though. He didn't know what I looked like. You know. It was mad. It was mad. It was mad. It's like sitting up on stage with one of the greatest boxers of all time. I grew up watching Mayweather as well. You know, the Pacquiao fights, the Hatton fight, you know, the De La Hoya fight. I remember watching those fights as a teenager.
What do your family think of it all?
Oh God, my mum. I don't know if you've seen my mum in the video.
I think I have.
She's mental. She's brilliant. She's absolutely. She'll do anything. Like she'll start doing the impressions in the videos. There's a method to she's mad. Like she was just they were beaming with pride. Like they really were. It's, you know, I got a lot of great support back home when I came home. Like I had a lot of. I don't know if you heard of Rory's stories over in Ireland. He's a huge Facebook page in Ireland. He sent me a big long message. I look up to him an awful lot because he's one of the big influencers over in Ireland. It was just great. It was a great few days for me, you know. But these are the things that, you know. It was brilliant. It happened. It's over now. You have to. I see. That's the problem with social media. And I was thinking about it coming in here and talking about it. That dry patch you go through as an influencer or as a performer on Facebook, it's tough when you're not getting the kind of the traction, the consistent,
you have to write
the
it
consistent out. Views. You have to write it out. So these things happen. Like I look back at that video, it's great and it's fantastic. I don't want it to be. I do want it to be.
Which video
something
is this?
The Mayweather one.
Yeah.
I do want it to be something that defined me, but I want to do better. I want to go on the next level. I want to do the next thing. It's you know.
Is do you think that you're like, because you must have an impression you think you're best at?
Yeah.
And like maybe the most popular ones you do probably you might not feel are your number ones. I remember Schaefer saying when he did the show he was made to do ones he didn't feel was probably his best.
Yeah.
But what impression of your own do you think is the one that you completely nail? Is Conor McGregor your best?
There'd be McGregor, De Niro, Mark Wahlberg. I think a lot of people. The Mark Wahlberg is really starting to get the attention that I wanted it to get now.
Because am I right in thinking that's quite a niche one to do? Because a lot of impressionists, they have like the pool of the obvious, the Donald Trumps, and is that quite a niche one to do?
Yeah, that's why I like it.
Yeah, because I don't see many people do.
A lot of people do McConaughey. You know, I do McConaughey, but I until I seen Schaefer's, because his is just brilliant. So it's like when I see other impressionists doing fantastic impersonations, and I do the impersonation, but I only do a mediocre one, I leave it to them. Because if they can do that, that's their area. Like especially with Game of Thrones and Schaefer, like that is his baby.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of the two of us working together. I do a lot of the sports impressions. He does a lot of the TV and entertainment impressions. And when we come together, it's a match made in heaven.
And have you consciously gone towards sport? You thought this would be my thing, or is it just naturally you ended up doing?
Because you have an interest in sport anyway.
I have a keen interest in soccer. Soccer and boxing would be the two main areas for me. I'd love to get in like golf. If I could do a few golf impressions, that'd be great. Tennis. So that's kind of the aim.
Jeff Sterling, I think that's a very niche one as well.
Yeah. Jeff Sterling, yeah.
How easy would it be now?
Van Gaal as well, the football one.
Yeah,
you know.
And that's fucking great.
I enjoy. That's one of my favourite impressions.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. How easy is it to, if I was to give you a name now that you've never done an impression of?
Okay.
How easy would it be for you to? I wouldn't expect you just to be able to reel it off like that.
Yeah.
But because you obviously have to craft your art. But if we was to do another podcast in say 6 months' time, would you be able to come back and would you have it, or would that be? Yeah. Am I being quite ignorant in terms of that would be a lot of work for you to go away and learn this? Do you know what I mean?
No.
It wouldn't be.
No.
It wouldn't be. I almost want to give him one now.
The problem is I don't get the time to practice as much, and I'm blessed. I'm absolutely blessed that I'm so busy at the moment. I'm incredibly fortunate for that. But I since Vegas, it's been absolutely nuts. And as I was telling you before I went on the podcast, I've been flying back and forth to London constantly. I'm not a fan of it, to be honest with you. I love London, but I'm not a fan of doing that all the time. You know?
Yeah, must get a bit much. So watch some of my videos, the JaackMaate ones where I'm talking, and see if you can do an impression of me.
Okay.
And we'll come back to that.
I'll come back in 6 months.
Yeah, and I'll see.
All right. Okay.
How talking about Vegas and talking about your life changing dramatically over the past. Obviously, the elephant in the room of that is you get a lot of money, you get all the nice things, all that comes. How are you coping with that, and how do your family feel about the more sort of like the more materialistic things, like your bank balance is going up, your work's going up, your popularity's going up? How are you keeping a level head throughout all that?
I'm being quite safe with it. You know what I mean? I'm putting a few quid away for savings. Myself and me and my girlfriend we're moving in hopefully sometime early next year. She's a primary school teacher, so I'm just looking forward to doing all of that, and just working constantly. It's tough for her though. It is. It's tough for her. We've been going out to guts about only 8 months now, but it's hard for her at such an early stage. Me going away constantly all the time, but she's kept busy Monday to Friday with the kids in school. So,
has it ever been? I looked at it like, because it is obviously that's your job, it's your bread and butter, but at the same time you're having fun and stuff like that. It's like when people have in relationships, it's a slightly more normal job and someone's doing something a bit more. They're like, "Well, you just doing it? Well, it's my job."
Yeah,
is it a bit like
she's getting very used to that now. She's getting used to the madness of it. Actually, what was it? Saturday. It was last week. We went to a Boyzone concert. She's a huge Boyzone fan. I know Keith Duffy and Brian McFadden, and obviously they're touring together. And Brian was supporting them. So Keith, I did a little gig at Keith's fundraiser in Dublin there a few weeks ago, and he offered to fly us over for the gig. And Alison, she's a huge Boyzone fan, and she seen Ronan and she was nearly crying. And you know, all of them got pictures with all. Like, she's a huge fan, and so I was happy to treat her to that. Then she shows me a photo the same day. Right, her brother is a huge Boyzone fan as well. The two of them grew up listening to Boyzone. Her older brother, and there's her older brother in a picture with Joe Biden, and I'm there. That's meeting the lads is a bigger deal, you know. But no, you know what? They were absolutely lovely. They accommodated us really well.
So then next time you want to go to Vegas, you're like, remember Boyzone? Yeah, I'm off to Vegas. Yeah, let me go.
No, it was. I think I got major brownie points from it though.
Yeah, I bet.
She was absolutely over the moon.
I bet. It's great. It's just one of the perks of the jobs, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, it wasn't nice. You know, Love Me for a Reason was a great hit back in the day. You know what I mean? And listening to the boys here, you know. I think Ronan came out and sang "Life Is a Roller Coaster" at the end.
Lovely.
It's a great tune.
It's
a great tune.
That'd be the thing to end on. You're like, come on, Ronan, can we do something together? Nah. Life's a Roller Coaster is me.
I actually did a little video with them as well before the gig.
Did you?
To get them, yeah. Do you know Mikey from the? Mikey does a brilliant De Niro impression.
I wouldn't know him by name.
He looks a bit handy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a lovely fella. They're all saying that they're all lovely lads, but he does a great De Niro. I was shocked. It's the best De Niro I've ever seen.
He's you out of a job, isn't he?
I don't know. You never know. Mikey from Boyzone, I don't know, he could be coming for my job.
It's the tongue.
It's the tongue. That's what it's all about. I
Good.
like Tom Hiddleston. He's very good as Loki, but Tom, you gotta stop doing that De Niro. I was cringing for you on Graham Norton. I really was.
So good. I want to know, before we get into a little impressions-based game, they're coming. Don't you worry, they're coming. Yeah. To learn and master an impression, do you have to, and the I can't say this word, linguistics behind it?
Yes.
There we go.
There, mate.
Is there like a set amount of words that you have to learn? Do you look in the mirror? How do you learn it? What do you do?
The mirror, no.
Right.
I think a lot of people think that they're looking in the mirror. No. The set of words, yes. That to kind of familiarize yourself with the accent and the tone of the voice. That's the first kind of step.
Right.
Once you get that, start talking to yourself for a good 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
Then record yourself. That's how I do it.
Really?
That's the process of it.
Is it the same set of words for each impression, or do you just know, like, how do you work out that, to do McGregor I need to be able to say this word? Do you watch a lot of his clips and take the words that he's saying?
Yeah. I would. I'd kind of take the quotes, mix them up a little bit. I like putting my own spin to it as well.
Yeah.
You know, the most out, because I like putting De Niro and Pesci and all the other lads. I call them the lads. Christ almighty, what's living up here? I like putting them in the most ridiculous situations.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I was cracking up at your Kim Kardashian the other day.
Well,
the Kardashian.
It's funny you say that, because now I want to play a little game where Tom, although this podcast is doing very well, and I thank you guys for watching, I think there's some celebrities that we are probably just always going to be a little bit out of our reach. Okay, I can't imagine we're going to be sitting here with Donald Trump unless it all goes horrifically wrong for both of us. So what I want to do now, if you don't mind, Al,
no problem,
is just ask some quick fire questions
at
a number of celebrities that we'll never get, and maybe you can let us live in the moment by answering as they would
Absolutely.
answer. Should we go for it?
Go for it, yeah.
So, Robert De Niro, thank you for coming on the podcast today. How was the commute?
Well, not too bad. I got the Gatwick Express to London Victoria. Can I swear?
Yeah.
I left my fucking ticket on the train, so I couldn't get through. I had to convince the lady that I got my ticket. That was quite embarrassing. That's true.
And Connor, obviously Rio Ferdinand announced a few weeks back now that he's going into boxing. Do you reckon that'll be someone I think he's been calling you out, to be fair. I've seen a few tweets from him.
I mean, listen, Rio is a very good footballer. He was a very good defender, so let him do what he does. Fair play to him. Let him step in there. Let him see what it's like. But it'll either be a shock to him or he'll be comfortable. So, I mean, I like Rio. I do like him, and I wish him all the best. But if he gets knocked out, that's it. That's his fault. You know what I mean? He wanted to get into this game. This is a tough game. Let me tell you something. This is a very tough game. I got into that boxing ring. Fair enough. I went 10 rounds of Floyd. Landed more punches than Canelo. Landed more than a lot of other fighters. But best of luck, Rio. He might, but he'll always be a better centre half than a cruiserweight. Do you know what I mean? He wants to get into the cruiserweight division.
What would Rio say?
Listen, this is it's a tough little, it's a tough sport. But I think a lot of people don't realise that I've been training for this for a long time. I mean, look, listen. We all knew, right, when Moisey came into Manchester United, it was all fucked from there. So I just started training for boxing. Signed for QPR the year after. Didn't really care less about that. I was just training the whole time. BT Sport punditry as well.
President Trump, what brings you here? Is it all gone sour? Why are you on?
What a really remarkable town. What a great place. There's a lot of great people here. What has gone wrong is that nothing has gone wrong. I'm doing a very, very, very good job.
So why are you sat here on the JaackMaate Podcast when you could be on any media platform in the world?
Because this is my favorite podcast in the world. What a tremendous podcast. I like this podcast better than Fox and Friends. I tweet about Fox and Friends every morning. What a really, really great show. I love it.
Gordon, are you hungry? We can pop out and get you some lunch.
Oh, fuck off. Hey, listen, go out and get that. What is it, Pret a Manger up the road? God almighty. Do you know what I love about Pret a Manger? Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know.
Pret a Manga, whatever the fuck it is. I love the avocado salad with the crayfish. Gorgeous. A little bit of that lemon drizzle. What are you laughing at? The fuck do you find so funny?
Oh,
God.
See, I thought I was
Wow.
fairly decent at Gordon, but I can't. Yeah, what am I not?
No.
Okay, I'm
Shaver
not.
does a very good Gordon.
Does he?
Yeah.
Does he? What? Jeff Stellan, we're massive fans. I was just wondering if you could introduce the JaackMaate Podcast with Jack Dean and Tom Norris and Al Foran. And I was wondering if you could introduce it for us as if there's just been a last-minute goal scored down at the Emirates.
Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the JaackMaate Podcast here with Jack Dean and Tom Norris. There's been a late goal at the Emirates. What a surprise here. Alexandre Lacazette has scored again. Arsenal Fan TV has got up an eruption. TY doesn't know what to do. Troops is saying blood, 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 blood constantly. When will he ever say the word crip?
That is so good. That's quite a niche one as well. I don't see many people do that. We've got a few more. Mr. Wahlberg, you were quite late here today, and it's annoyed us a little bit because I know you're a big guest, but what are you playing at?
You gotta do what you gotta do, alright?
I'll do what I do. I was late for this podcast. If you want to complain about that, you go and fucking complain about that. I'm just going to sit here and drink my water. All right? Don't you ever tell me that, all right?
I won't mention
I will arrive
again.
late to whatever I fucking go to. All right? I'm a big-time producer, all right?
Yeah, you are.
Okay? You can give Michael Bay all the fucking stick about those Transformers movies. You don't talk to me about them, all right?
Toys R Us announced a few weeks back that they're going to go bankrupt or something like that. I think Woody from The Simpsons would probably laugh it off now. The Simpsons, not The Simpsons, rather from Toy Story.
Tom Hanks.
He'd probably laugh it off.
Oh my God.
And Zlatan, do you give a fuck about Toys R Us?
You know, for me, it's a very beautiful store in Times Square. You ever been there? The New York one?
Never been.
They have a Lego Empire State Building with King Kong climbing on it. It is a beautiful Lego structure. You know, Zlatan approves very much.
Lovely stuff. That is spot on. And the fact that you can do them just like that is sets you apart from the rest, I guess. Because Schaefer takes fucking ages. No, he doesn't. Al, just to finish, mate, we're going to go for a few Twitter questions.
Yes.
And
I want him to rate our impressions.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see what he thinks.
I
Or
think-
don't tell him what the impression is.
Okay.
See if Al knows what it is.
All right. Well, he's never. I can tell you now, Tom. He's never going to know what yours is because it's so niche. You've got two actually. You've got, and so I want you to do them too.
Oh, no, I've got 3.
Oh, okay. Right, go on then. So
But usually I won't have to say the
the
name.
professional here is going to rate them. So
Right. So
that's shit.
First one.
Hiya! Hey, Kermit.
So that's bang on.
Do you know what that is?
It's Kermit the Frog, is that? No, where was it?
Hiya! Hey, Kermit.
I don't fucking know.
His missus.
Oh, Miss Piggy!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah!
And then.
Very good.
Bang on.
Do that again.
Hiya! Hey, Kermit.
That was the best one. Yeah.
I feel like you're about to batter me. She beats up Kermit, doesn't she?
Well, you'll go.
No, you got 2 more.
Alright,
don't bottle this.
Ooh, I didn't really know that. Aye. Do you know that? Ooh, I usually say his name, that's how I get into it, but I can't do that. Ooh, aye. I don't really know that.
His face.
Is TV personality most definitely. Comedian. Is it Keith Lemon?
No, it's Keith Lemon.
No. What does he sound like again?
Ooh, aye. Oh, Billy Connolly.
Oh, it's Billy. Oh, jeez. Very good. Very good, Tom.
And finally.
Very good.
Homie.
Marge Simpson.
But that was all.
Bart Simpson doing Marge Simpson in that episode.
So you're doing an impression of Bart.
Bart doing an
But
impression.
I can't do that.
Bart doing an impression of his mother.
Yeah.
Very niche.
No, we'll move on.
You're actually pretty good.
I'm alright.
Come on, Jack.
Family Guy ones, you know, the standard ones. But everyone can do them, can't they? Why can everyone do a Family Guy?
I don't know. I can't.
You can't?
No.
Can try Stewie.
Yes, whatever, Peter. Like I can't do that.
That's not to that's not. Oh, how you doing there, big guy?
That's brilliant. Yeah.
And then you got brilliant. You get that?
I mean, you did say it before you did it, but
Yeah, true. Okay, what about it looks cold out there, Peter.
Cleveland.
There we go.
Yeah.
So you know it.
you did say Family Guy, and then you.
Okay, right. So it does narrow it
Yeah,
down.
he didn't categorize them.
I can't beat her.
Again, just do one that's not
I
Family Guy.
can't. I'm not.
I can do Butters.
Who?
Butters from South Park. That's one. Yeah.
What? Is that what that
I
was?
can do Butters.
Oh, you can. Go
That's
on.
one of my favorite.
I'm sorry, Eric. I'm sorry, it was Eric Cartman all along.
Is that a new one?
I've done it for years.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. What was?
You're I can't say it obviously, but the nature stuff was good. But obviously it's something new it's going to be. But
Deep in the South African rainforest.
Very
pretty
good.
good. It's pretty
Very good. Oh, that is good.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
That is good. A lot of people do Attenborough as well. I think Schaefer is the main
He's
Attenborough guy.
fucking well good at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's brilliant at Attenborough. There's another guy as well, Charlie Hopkinson, who does him.
I'm not sure. Can you do Bear Grylls?
Schaefer's the main guy. Bear Grylls? No, actually. It's something I need to.
He's got a bit of a confused sort of when you're in the wild.
Yeah.
Like that.
He's very when you're in the wild. Yeah.
Chinky around you.
With other impersonators, I know you said if someone's smashing it, you'll be like, oh, I'll leave it to them. Is it quite competitive in that field or not?
See, that's where when I met with Schaefer, we just completely took the whole competitive thing out. Like we said it to each other, mate. And I met Darren Farley as well, and he agrees too. Fuck this competitiveness with Impressionists. Seriously, fuck it, because when we work together collaboratively, it is 10 times better than just us putting videos up by ourselves. It's much better. You've seen the video with me and Schaefer. How many views has that got online? Nearly 60 million views on all platforms. That's how good it is. And people want that, you know? So
that's mad. With Schaefer and you though, because as we said earlier, Game of Thrones sports, there's not too much of a crossover. But with Darren Farley, it kind of, from an outsider's point of view, are alarm bells not ringing for him? Because you're the young kid on the block, you do the sports ones, he does the sports ones.
I don't know. I met Darren there a few days ago, and I've just nothing but nice things to say about him. Seriously, one of the friendliest people you can eat. Jesus, just a lovely guy. And we spoke about that. He does do the same impressions. Like I'll do Harry Redknapp. He does Harry Redknapp. I do Roy Hodgson, but I never really. I never really want to put him on the podcast. He's all right. They're doing a very, very good job at Crystal Palace. So I fucked it up with England for a couple of years. I got away with it. And then he does his Harry. My Harry's a little different. Well, it's all right. He's a little more like that, I think I'm doing I did a really good job at Birmingham. And you know what? They go off and sack me. It's all right. They gave me a very good severance package. All right. I'm happy. I'm happy enough doing a little, the BT Sport job. It's all right. I really do like it. It really is. Yeah. Jamie's over there in Sky Sports. He can fuck off as far as I'm concerned. Right?
Top player.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah, that's Darren Farley.
Terrific. Yes, Darren puts his own little unique spins on it.
I've met 3 Impressionists now, and they've all been lovely guys. So maybe that's a running theme with you.
Yeah.
Have you met any cunty ones? If so, who?
They're probably not watching, but I only heard that they're pricks. No, I've never met McGowan. I've never heard of what McGowan's. I know of Alistair McGowan, of course. The 2 Irish guys I mentioned earlier on, one of them I met, nice guy, but anything I kind of hear from people, they don't really like them.
Yeah, they might be a bit worried. You're the new kid on the block.
That's what one of them said to me. He goes, "You do realise I'm your competition." Mario Rosenstock, he said it to me, and I said, you do realise if we work together, we'd get a lot of work.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to just ask a final question before we get on to the Twitter questions, which we'll keep very brief. But I don't know if there's a nice way of asking this, but I feel like you'll take it in the best way. Yeah. With somebody who's an impressionist, you're always putting on an act, you're always trying to be somebody else. Do you then find that's hard to validate yourself as a comedian, or is your trade enough to validate that?
That's an interesting question. It is. I do find that maybe it will be slightly difficult, but I don't know, with the way the world is going. There's a lot more impressionists around, and I do believe I'm not bigging all of ourselves up this new kind of generation of impersonators. But I don't know if you remember Mike Yarwood. He was huge. BBC, he was a star, but he wasn't particularly a very good impressionist. He was an impressionist, but we've upped it a level now. We're getting we're getting criticism left, right, and centre on Twitter and Facebook. Everyone has become a fucking X Factor judge on impressions now in the comment section. But with that, those people are motivating us to actually better ourselves as performers. So I don't know. It could be. I don't know. It's a hard thing to say. I would like to, as I said, I'd like to delve into comedy, into acting, after this.
Yeah.
You know,
then with the acting, I mean, that validates you as your own, as Al, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I doubt you're not going to do, well, maybe you are, but especially within comedy, but you won't, will you perform as somebody?
If you look at Jim Carrey
no?
in the early 90s when he was in Living Colour,
yeah,
he impersonated so many different characters.
Yeah.
You know, and Saturday Night Live was Will Ferrell. You know, so they all started off on those kind of platforms.
And then you find your style.
I guess like
then you find your style.
Michael Sheen doing biopics. Is it Michael Sheen? The Welsh actor?
Yeah.
He did like the Damned United and he
Yeah.
did Frost Nixon. He's in person in the biopic, but
He's brilliant in Frost Nixon.
True, yeah, true. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just finish out, if you don't mind, on a few Twitter questions. People have flocked in, and on Facebook. So Niels FK says, how do you feel Conor McGregor changes the perception of the Irish? Is his character similar to the majority of people in Ireland, or is he really a unique and different individual?
He's quite unique.
Yeah.
He is quite unique. I do know, I know a couple of lads who are kind of like McGregor.
Do you find that they're trying to be a bit like him now, or?
I do. I don't know. I think there's a bit of the youth that want to be like him, you know. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Look at what the guy's doing. Look at what he's done for the country is incredible. It's absolutely amazing. We haven't had a bigger sports star since Roy Keane. You know, I remember the 2002 World Cup Saipan when Roy Keane left the Irish camp. That was huge for Ireland. And then McGregor came along and he's stratospheric fame in such a short space of time. Like I put him up there with Bono was obviously one of our Bono. There's a lot of begrudgery in Ireland. That's the problem. There's a ton of begrudgery. Not a lot of people like Bono. And it started to get that way with McGregor, and I was having none of it. A lot of people are having none of it. I hate this whole, you know, it's very much in Ireland, it's this whole older generation, you know, he's making a fool of this country and saying that and saying, fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Look how much he's achieved. Yeah. He's huge in the US. You know, there was a bit of begrudgery in Ireland with some of the newspapers.
Right.
Kind of
we have that in England,
criticising his behaviour at the press conferences.
What, he's throwing the balls and stuff? Or just in general?
What at the Floyd Mayweather press conferences, you know, they were...
That's part of the fucking game though, isn't it?
It's part of the game.
He's selling himself, he's selling the country, he's doing all that. So you know, we have a lot of that in England as well. I mean, if Andy Murray wins, he's British. If he loses, do you know what I mean? He's I've said that the wrong way, but you know what I mean. Like, if he wins, he's English.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what I'm saying. You
British,
know what I'm saying. That's
Scottish.
it.
But I will say McGregor is the most famous person in our country, undoubtedly. Yeah. At the moment, there's no one on his level of fame.
He is the king. Smart Joe says, do you think anybody who you do impressions of could get pissed off or offended at your impressions?
I don't know.
It's all light-hearted fun, isn't it?
It's all light-hearted. That's the way I look at it. I'm not there to take the piss out of them. I'm not there to... Here's an interesting one with Wayne Rooney. Everything that happened with him. I wasn't going near that. I wasn't going to kick a man while he was down. Yeah. You know? I only do Wayne Rooney from a light-hearted point of view. You know, the content will be funny and it'll be a little bit edgy, but I will not jump on top of something like that. Because that's, at the end of the day, he has a family, he has kids. So, no, I wouldn't kick a man while he's down.
That's very fair play.
No.
Maverick says, what's your alcoholic drink of choice?
I drink a Corona. At Christmas time I drink Guinness, drink pints of Guinness. But Guinness is very heavy, Jesus. And then obviously with Corona I have a Diet Coke and vodka.
I was not expecting that.
It's a bit boring, do you know what I mean? I don't like drinking that much anymore.
Do you not?
No, not as much anymore. Like it's
grown up a bit.
And I feel when I'm drinking, I lose productivity. When I go on when I'm on a session and I'm enjoying myself, I do wake up the next day. I'm like, that was great, but I won't be able to feel. My voice won't feel right for the next few days. Yeah. You know, I'll be tired.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Terry Travis just says, ask Al to do his Joe Pesci.
Terry Travis.
How you doing, Terry? How are you? How the fuck you doing? I'll tell you something. I'm really enjoying this podcast. These two little pricks here calling me funny. What the fuck is so funny about me?
That's very good.
What are you laughing at behind there? What the fuck do you find so funny?
With Pesci, you just lose your temper.
Yeah, nice. There you go, Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
Emily Saar says, if you could feature in any movie, either as yourself or a character that you can do, where would you go? What would you do?
Something strange popped into my head when I was on the flight over. I went to see Kingsman last night, The Golden Circle. It was alright.
Yeah.
It was alright. The first one was a lot better. But the main guy in it, Taron Egerton, is playing Elton John.
Right.
And I don't know what popped into my head. I listened to Elton John on Spotify. I said, Jesus, I wonder who's cast as Bernie. Bernie Taupin, is that the guy who wrote Elton John's, all of his classic hits?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, Jesus, I wouldn't mind playing that role. And then I've thought, like, when you think of film roles as well, I thought if they were ever to make a film on Sir Alex Ferguson, I'd actually try and go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'd go for that.
That's a great answer. Zola King says, would it fuck your career? And I think we know the answer because I think we've spoken about it already, so we'll keep it brief. But would it fuck your career even slightly if McGregor retired tomorrow?
I don't think so.
No.
It wouldn't?
No.
No?
A year ago, I probably would have been a little bit worried. McGregor is McGregor. He has cemented himself now.
Yeah.
I used to kind of think, when's the next fight? Content, getting stuff together, scheduling things. Now it's kind of...
It's probably in the same way as like David Beckham. People are still doing his impressions, all these. So, and he's very much behind the scenes
If
now.
McGregor went into obscurity like Dave Chappelle did, you know, for example, I think Dave Chappelle, he moved to Africa for 3 or 4 years and was completely out of the limelight. That would be, I don't know. See, look at Joe Pesci. People love that impression. I do that impression.
And he doesn't.
And he's gone.
Yeah, he's out of the limelight.
He's retired from acting.
And I think you'd say McGregor. Like, do you know who Dave Chappelle is? Yeah. So like McGregor, people all over know him. I think, and he'd always be that character. He's quite. But Chappelle played characters and stuff. Didn't he? So I think McGregor's always going to be remembered, and I think like you can always, bring it back.
Yeah.
And then finally, what's the key to Al Foran's happiness?
The key to my happiness.
Gonna get romantic.
I suppose spending time with my lady. That's my downtime, and my family. Just relaxing, and hopefully putting smiles on people's faces. I hope if I can do that for people, that's
you're sorted.
I'm sorted. That makes me happy. If I can entertain people, through all of those social platforms, that makes me happy.
So
there was one question in there I actually said.
What's that?
KSI or Joe Weller?
I didn't go to it. You really want to answer it, don't you?
I don't know. I've never seen the two of them fight before, so I'm going to go to that fight. It'll be very funny.
You're going to go? Can you do an impression of either of them?
No, I might try and learn them before the fight.
Nice. And finally, I know I said that was the last question. I asked Jack Howard this, and I think it would be good to bring it back. You're 80 years old. You're looking back at your career.
Yeah.
What do you want to achieve from now and then when you can say, that's when I fucking made it?
I don't know. Just keep working.
That's exactly
winning
what he said.
things.
That's exactly what he
winning
said.
things, working with great people, and just enjoying my life. I'd like to win things. There are things I would like to win.
What would you like to win?
I'd like to win an Oscar. I feel I'm capable enough of doing it. It's something I dreamed of.
I'd like to see
I'm a movie guy.
Yeah.
I've acted in a few things before. I like the process of it. I'm comfortable in it.
Nice. Lovely stuff. There we go. Al Foran.
The bold one now at the Oscar. Maybe an Emmy, but it's a bold one. But
I like it. Aim high, mate. Aim high.
Yeah.
Al Foran, I've got it right finally after the whole fucking thing. I've got all your links down below. Check him out. He's absolutely incredible at what you do.
Thank you, mate.
It's been a pleasure, mate.
Lads, thanks a million for having me.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much. And Conor McGregor, I'll see you later.
See you later, brother. Take care.